Here at Residential Life, we use a program called Ghost to load operating systems and programs onto computers in bulk, or one at a time. And Ghost is a program that creates a snapshot or image of a computer, and within that image it contains the operating system, all of the files, all of the settings, and everything that we can then take that image and load it onto another computer or computers. We use it because it prevents us from having to individually install, configure, and customize each computer in a lab or classroom. And it's streamlined because one person can oversee an entire computer lab at once, as opposed to doing each machine individually. So there are a couple of terms that you'll hear someone talk about when they're talking about ghosting. The first of these terms is unicast, and uni being one or single. That's a single computer being ghosted at a time. It's a very direct protocol, less prone to network errors, but it's slow in that it only does one computer at a time, whereas opposed to multicast will let multiple computers be done at the same time. And the server basically hops around looking for clients that are using this protocol, and it's good for doing multiple labs, but it's a lot harder on the network. When somebody says ghosting up, you hear somebody say, oh, we're going to ghost up this image and we're going to ghost down this lab. What does that mean? It gets kind of confusing, but it's really not once you know what it means. Ghosting up is where you take a ghost file off of a computer and you send it to the cloud. So if you have a computer that's got all the settings and programs installed, and you've sysprepped it and all that good stuff, you're ready to make a copy of it. You're going to ghost that up. So I think of ghosting up to the cloud. Whereas ghosting down is we're taking that image from the cloud and we're loading it onto a computer or an entire lab or what have you. Basics on how to ghost. You need a couple of things. The first thing you need is the USB drive that has the Ghost Boot PC-DOS on it. It's created with the Symantec Ghost Boot utility. We have a couple of those that you can use, or if you would like to have your own, you would need a fresh flash drive for us to erase everything on and load that up. Then you run Ghost Server on a desktop and you host the image that you want to be loaded onto a computer. You boot into PC-DOS on the computer that you want to load the image on, and then you start the session. You join the session. To open Ghostcast Server on a desktop, you will need to navigate to the Residential Life server that we have the program stored on. Generally, we're not going to have a local copy of this program, so you're going to need to open up My Computer or folder, something like that, and from a computer on the domain, you want to go to RH004. And when that loads up, this is one of the many servers that we have that hosts multiple different files and printers and things like that. And when you're in RH004, you want to go to the software folder. In the software folder, you want to navigate to the other software folder. And you want to scroll down and find Ghostcast Server. You can click the shortcut or the regular program itself. And when you double click it, the program will load, and this is the server side of Ghostcast Server. So this is going to be what is actually hosting the image for the session. So if we were going to create a session now, you could type whatever name you'd want for within reason. So we're going to call this one Session. And you have two options here. You can restore an image or you can create an image. If you're restoring an image, you're going to be ghosting down. You're going to be taking an image and loading it onto one computer or multiple computers. And if you're going to be creating an image, you're going to be taking one computer and sending that image's data onto a file of whatever destination you're going to be using for that. So for here, we're going to restore an image. And when you restore an image, it's going to ask you for an image file location. And when you click Browse, another Windows Explorer is going to come up. And so this, just like navigating on a flash drive or something else, you would pick what image you want. This one is going to be the email station for December. And then here you have a couple of different options. You can, if you don't know how many clients you're going to be doing, so if you don't know how many computers are in a lab that you're going to be ghosting down, you can click Accept Clients. And what this is going to do is it's going to wait for all of the clients to connect, and then you push Enter, say Send or something like that, and then it'll start the session. But if you know how many clients you're going to have connected or number of computers you're going to have, you could specify that here. So you'd say 1. And now the thing about this is an exact number. You have to put in the exact number because the session will not start until all of those clients have connected. And so once it connects, you're going to see the information of all the computers that are connected there, MAC addresses, whether it's unicast or multicast, time elapsed, time taken, things like that, how much has been transmitted, etc. Running Ghost on a client-side computer using the flash drive that you created or one that you've gotten that was made with the Symantec boot utility is very similar to loading a portable operating system or something like a Linux boot drive. If you're familiar with that, the setup and usage of it are practically the same. So what you're going to do is you're going to insert your flash drive into the computer with the computer off and turn the computer on. And whenever it comes up, depending on the operating system and the computer and the BIOS, you're going to want to push the button to go into selective boot. In this case, it's F12. In that menu, you want to select USB storage because we're booting from the flash drive. That's going to load up. This next screen shows you some information on how it's pulling PC-DOS and the network card information from the flash drive. And it's going to start, and then this is all running off of the flash drive into the computer's memory. Nothing is being accessed on the hard drive right now. That's how Symantec Ghost allows us to load an operating system onto another computer or a Ghost image on another computer because it bypasses the computer's hard drive. Now right here when the menu comes up, you're going to want to click Ghost Cast. You can use the mouse or you're going to use the arrow keys, just depending on which one is easier. Sometimes the mouse is a little too sensitive, so you're going to want to use the arrows. Now right here in the Ghost Cast menu, since only one computer is being ghosted at a time, you want to select Unicast. If you were doing multiple computers, you would click Multicast. And then it's going to pop up and ask you for the session name. And you want to type in the same session name that you typed in on GhostCast server. If you don't get it the same, they won't match each other. Now right here it asks you the local destination by clicking on the drive number. This is on the computer itself, where we're going to load it to. These are different partitions, and so you're going to want to pick the larger one. Okay, and then the destination drive details in that. There's a couple of different partitions. There's the Dell utility, recovery utility. You don't want to mess with that. You want to always select disk load to load the image onto. After this, it's going to come up, and it's going to ask you to proceed with the disk restore, and the destination drive is going to be overwritten. That's just letting you know that the hard drive is going to be erased and the new image is going to be loaded on the drive. After this, it's going to go through the process, and once it's finished, you can restart the computer and you will immediately load into your new image.